So this will be the final song of the night. It's called Lightenings Enlightening, and this is from my new band, the English Speakers US.
Right on.
Thank you, Checker Phil, once again.
Please, thank you.
You're welcome. I've been struck by lightning once or twice. Here's my idea. Please heed this advice. Thoughts about tomorrow, will they ever last? Lightnings enlightening, make tomorrow past. Whoa, lightnings enlightening, make tomorrow past. Associations in the ground. One side is earth, the other side sound. Take a pen and paper when in doubt. Here is my figuring, figuring it out. Whoa, here is my figuring, figuring it out. Of desperation I concur. One part is Ms., the other part Sir. Take a funny sentence, make them laugh. Ah, you'll be complaining about your better half. Oh, you'll be complaining about your better half. Of all commitments, half a house. Rana the receptionist is Stephanie Klaus. I've been walking dogs now for so long. Maybe it's time to entertain the song. Oh, maybe it's time to entertain the song. In entertainment, don't you know? One part is biz, the other part show. Get your act together when in doubt. Life is a puzzle, I'm figuring it out. Whoa, life is a puzzle, I'm figuring. I met a man of music, just to be precise. His favorite Beach Boys song was Wouldn't It Be Nice? Music is a business, I don't know. But these gadgets and gizmos, go on with the show. Whoa, gadgets and gizmos, go on with the show. There's actually one more final verse. Can I check the lyrics?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
You could throw it in there.
You can edit. Doodly doodly doo, just as well. One set. Show vision. Oh, the final verse again. But actually, there's a missing verse. Can I do the missing verse?
Yeah,
sure. So the missing verse actually has a little bit of a backstory.
Okay.
Okay. So my first job that I had was at a place called the Huntington Valley Dinner Theater. I'm not sure if I ever told you this.
Really?
Story.
Dinner theater?
It was a dinner theater.
Okay.
And so basically, they'd have these senior citizens come in on buses. I was ages 16 and 17, so that was, for me, 11th and 12th grade. Yes, I was 17 years old in 12th grade. Not because I was exceptionally smart. No, because my parents started me early in school.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I will never, ever recover from that. And they know that, too. So 17 in 12th grade. Meanwhile, everyone else, like, shaved.
Sorry.
And was able to handle the academic part, and the social part, and the physical activity part. Anyway, I don't blame them for that. They thought it was a good idea at the time. Anyway, so I went off track there for a second.
Whoa,
so I know.
I'm getting really heavy right
here. It all comes out. It all comes out in the 57-minute part of the show. Okay, so it's the Huntington Valley Dinner Theater. It was my first job. It was actually my second job. My first job I got was at the movie theater that I got fired from. We'll talk about that next time. Okay, so it was my second job. It was the Huntington Valley Dinner Theater. So they bring these buses in of senior citizens, and so we'd serve dinner. Usually chicken or fish, right? And then after that, we'd do coffee service, coffee or tea. So I would, bring the plate, take the plate back, bring the coffee, tea, bring that back, and then it was time for the show. Now it was a dinner theater, so they would do Broadway revivals, but I'd like to say they're Broadway re-revivals, because it's not just a revival; it's a re-revival because you're doing it again. Okay, so they would do Broadway re-revivals of shows like 42nd Street. Annie Get Your Gun, Oklahoma, the classic 1940s, 1950s musicals, which explains a lot. It's amazing I'm not gay. Okay, and so of course the owner of the dinner theater was named Mr. Pell, Howard Pell, and he was about 70 years old, and he was from Germany or Austria. And the thing about Mr. Pell was I couldn't remember. I don't know whether he may have been a Holocaust survivor, or he may have actually been a Nazi. It's sometimes hard to tell the difference between the two. Whoa. Okay. Anyway, but Howard Pell, of course, is also a fledgling show writer as well too, and he'd written a lot of lyrics for a show that he came up with. And oddly enough, he didn't know when to write the music. So I said, well, let me take a shot. I was 16 years old. Let me take a shot at it. So I ended up playing piano back then, and so I put some serviceable show tune music to his already written lyrics. And so these were the first This was some of my earlier work. I still have it on a cassette somewhere. It's totally serviceable stuff. I'm sure there's no way Mr. Pell is Mr. Pell would be about 120 years old if this is the case.
Also, you could still get a good copyright on that thing and get that thing out there.
Well, I would leave well enough alone sometimes.
When you get your Tony, make sure to give him a shout.
Mr. Pell, yeah, and so, but the thing with Mr. Pell is, obviously, you couldn't leave the theater. While the show was going on, or because then they went to do the tea service afterwards. So what did he do? He made the wait staff work during the show, because otherwise you'd have 2.5 hours of downtime. So I would run the spotlight way up from the booth, with no experience whatsoever, on the actors on the stage, who's singing. Definitely had a couple of close calls, I'm on the wrong person or whatever, and then you go back and then you do the tea service afterwards. Anyway, that's what this final verse of the song is about. It didn't make any sense in the song whatsoever, but it's the final mystery verse of the song. So
wow,
can I play this verse for you? Okay.
Yes, please.
And this will be the final verse of the song.
All right.
Passed along the hard way, don't you know? Huntington Valley Dinner Theater Show. First they serve the dinner, chicken or fish, and then a Broadway re-revival. How can you miss a Broadway re-revival? How can you miss? Thank you.
Thank you. All that build-up, I was like, oh my God. All right. Oh, Jason, is there a website or anything like that? We could see you on Facebook. We can see you on all the various things. You do Instagram or something like that? Sure.
I guess the best way, if you want to check out my musical, is drglassheart.com. Heartache, backache, pain in the neck, Dr. Glassheart will meet all of your medical musical needs. drglassheart.com, or check out my radio show on www.radiofreebrooklyn.com. It's called Thought Patterns with Jason Trachtenberg on Radio Free Brooklyn.
Radio Free Brooklyn.
.com.